Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Greene from Advanced Dermatology and Laser Institute of Seattle. Today we're going to talk about hair loss and its treatments. Hair loss can be caused by a number of conditions. Could be genetic, could be due to metabolic disorders, infections, underlying skin disorders, or underlying medical conditions, and also can be caused from excessive pulling on the hair or traction on the hair. Well, what is alopecia? Patients ask me, do I have alopecia? Do you have to be a certain age to have alopecia? Alopecia refers to all types of hair loss, no matter what your age or station in life. Hair shedding is where a person notices increased shedding of hair from the scalp, and if there is good replacement of that hair, then it is not a condition of concern. However, if a person is experiencing hair thinning, this is where an individual notices more surface of the scalp itself coming through because of that hair loss. I like to categorize my patients' hair loss conditions into two major categories. Androgenetic alopecia. This is a genetic scalp hair loss condition. It affects 50 to 80 million people in our country. There are many very helpful treatments now. It affects men and women with two different classical presentations. First, in men, the presentations first begin in the frontal areas of the scalp with progression affecting the central and the vertex scalp. In female presentation of androgenetic alopecia, it is first noted in hair thinning in the central part of the scalp with expansion from that area. Alopecia areata is a very important non-scarring alopecia. Patients typically present with patches of complete hair loss on the scalp, either as a solitary single patch or multiple patches. When it occurs in the scalp with total hair loss, we call this alopecia totalis. When a patient with this diagnosis has total body hair loss, we call it alopecia universalis. This is oftentimes associated with an autoimmune disorder, and research is showing specific defects in the immune system that underlying this condition. This is also associated with eczema and commonly associated with stress. Telogen effluvium is a very common hair loss condition that is non-scarring that we see in our practice. Well, what are the triggers of telogen effluvium? They include shifts in weight, personal stress, childbirth, certain medications, certain dietary deficiencies, hospitalizations, and certain medical conditions. Traction alopecia is another example of non-scarring alopecia. We see it commonly in our female patients in the setting where the hair is pulled back very tightly. This styling technique causes a damaging effect on the hair shaft, on surrounding stem cells, interrupting blood supply to nourish the hair properly. And if treatment is introduced early, a patient can enjoy full recovery. So what is scarring alopecia? This is a collection of less common scalp hair loss conditions that are associated with redness, swelling, pain, severe itching at times, focal areas of hair loss, and significant presence of scar tissue. The most common scarring hair loss conditions include lichen planopilaris, which sometimes is associated with a generalized skin eruption and sores in the mouth. And then the second condition would include central centrifugal cicatricial alopecia. This is seen most commonly in our Afro-American patients. CCCA, a common condition of scarring alopecia seen in the Afro-American community, usually starts in the central scalp, most commonly in women, and sprints outwardly, covering the entire central scalp if it reaches its most advanced stage. We usually start the therapy ladder at the lowest rungs with lifestyle changes and modifications, including diet, stress management techniques, and then topical products that can be applied to the scalp where there's evidence of stimulating hair growth, as well as supplements that are very helpful to promote hair restoration. We then go into treatment options that require prescriptions, oral medications, and we have listed for you some of the common prescription medications in our video today. Finally, we will have patients consider those in-office options of treatment that are appealing to them, discussing things like PRP and Carolase treatments that are meaningful non-surgical treatment options to consider as they're on their journey of treatment considerations. Hi guys, I hope you liked today's video. If you found it helpful, give us a like, share, and subscribe.